I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHack's Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is no one-night stands. So this episode is for the ladies, but I would encourage the guys to listen as well, as you probably know a woman who needs to hear this. Ladies, a lot of you specifically indicate on your dating profiles that you are not interested in short-term sexual relationships or one-night stands. While this might sound inoffensive enough, I would discourage you from adopting this position, and I certainly would not recommend explicitly saying this on your profile, irrespective of your personal beliefs. And I'm going to make what I hope will be a compelling argument in defense of this perspective today. Ultimately, I'm trying to help you get more of what you tell me that you want, namely long-term committed relationships. But it's tough to watch so many of you get in your own way. So here we are. Now, on the surface, this position seems reasonable. After all, how are you going to get a long-term relationship if you're playing around with one-night stands? Why should you waste your time pursuing something you don't want at the expense of what you do? And this perspective would actually be reasonable were the assumption on which it is predicated true, namely that there are two different relationship pathways. That is, that the path to a long-term relationship is objectively different from the path to a short-term relationship. And that is not the case. Unless you're willing to subscribe to, say, arranged marriage, there is only a single pathway to relationship. The difference between a short-term and a long-term relationship is not qualitative. They don't take different paths. It's quantitative. The only real difference is when they end. To get married, you do the same things you do to get laid. You just do them longer. Allow me to explain. Like it or not, in today's day and age, sex precedes commitment. For a woman to come out of the gate and negate the possibility of a one-night stand functionally implies that she needs some kind of a priori commitment where she harbors the expectation that she's guaranteed multiple dates before the initial interaction in order for her to even entertain the possibility of dating a man. And that's an unreasonable demand. Like, see it from the other side, ladies. Why would a man make that kind of commitment to a woman he hasn't even met yet and who hasn't demonstrated that she can add any positive value to his life? Only the most lonely or desperate men would agree to this. Ladies, I'd like you to talk to your married girlfriends. Ask them about the earliest stages of their courtship and listen carefully to their answers. It's very likely that at the beginning of their relationship, a relationship that eventually led to marriage, they had a one-night stand. Since sex precedes commitment, the first time is always a one-night stand. It's just two people who were sufficiently interested in and attracted to each other initiating a sexual relationship without any reasonable guarantee that they will see each other ever again. And of course, if they never did see each other ever again, the story would have ended there. However, women incorrectly believe that quickly initiating a sexual relationship precludes them from the possibility of a long-term relationship. That is not true. That said, women do get ghosted after sex, and I'll release an episode soon explaining why that might be the case. But trust me, it's not because they put out. And making their sexual opportunity even more expensive to future suitors generally does not lead to the preferred outcome. If you appreciate the insights on this channel, I would highly encourage you to get your hands on a copy of my book, The Value of Others. Over the course of 432 pages, I delve deep into my economic model of relationships and explain the behavior of both men and women in the game of mating and dating. I also provide a lot of actionable advice on how to get and keep more of what you want in the sexual marketplace. Once you read The Value of Others, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Now available in ebook, audiobook, and paperback formats. The links are in the description. In any case, when the story doesn't end there, it's because there was sufficient interest and attraction from both parties to continue, and a one-night stand becomes a two-night stand. Hooray! However, they're pretty much still in the same boat. 2 nights does not guarantee a third. But if they play their cards right and the interest and attraction hold, then a 2-night stand becomes a 3-night stand, etc., etc., etc. Do you see what I'm getting at? Functionally, every contemporary marriage starts as a one-night stand. If sex precedes commitment, then you cannot get commitment without first initiating sex, which means, at least for a time, you will need to tolerate sex without commitment. There's no way around this in the modern sexual marketplace. And this means that you need to make your peace with the fact that your future husband will likely begin as a one-night stand. And if this is true, ladies, then answer me this. If you're not willing to have one-night stands, then how are you going to get married? It's a non-rhetorical question. I'm really interested to know what your strategy here is. Do you have one? All right. If you've accepted that what I'm saying might be true, that is that functionally every marriage begins as a one-night stand, then the appropriate next question becomes, how can I increase the likelihood that a one-off interaction will lead to a repeat performance? This is the same question businesses have with respect to generating recurring revenue. And the answer I would give to a woman is the same I would give to an entrepreneur. To generate repeat sales, you need 2 things: a good product and good customer service. If you have a good product supported with good service, you will get repeat sales. If you do not have a good product supported with good service, you will not get repeat sales. It's that simple. And remember, the cat decides what milk is good. It's not for you to decide that your product is good. It's for your clients or customers. And they are giving you that feedback not with their mouths, but with their feet and their wallets. Now, on some level, the lack of guarantees in sexual marketplace is good in that it motivates both parties to make a consistent effort to show up as the best versions of themselves and to provide good value to the other. And when each gives the other more of what they want and less of what they don't, which when it comes to men is a high good times to hassle ratio, then you get recurring business. On the other hand, when you lower the ROI or fail to consistently outperform the competition, then you'll lose all but the most loyal or the most oblivious customers. Remember, a fun and easy sexual experience is the Trojan horse that motivates the city to open its gates. You cannot harangue your way in with demands and interrogations. Start with the one-night stand and encourage repeat business with the quality of your service. I know you can do it. Why? Because every woman who puts that she doesn't do one-night stands in her dating profile has had a one-night stand. Like, where do you think rules come from? Because of something that has happened in the past, right? So this woman is functionally advertising that she has had one-night stands in the past, but she is unwilling to do so moving forward, which in the covert calculus of things makes her a more expensive, less attractive option than she otherwise would be. This is why I say you shouldn't put this in your profile, ladies. And trust me, this is not how you want to make a first impression. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message. I know you know a woman out there who needs to hear this because it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. Other value propositions. Anyone looking to join my free weekly newsletter, for which I write original content, or book a paid one-on-one consultation with yours truly, can do so on my website. There's also my best-selling book, The Value of Others, in which I explore my model of sexual relationships, and my private member community, The Captain's Quarters, where I host live bi-monthly group consultation calls and Q&As with invited guests from all over the internet. We have a great time. Check it out if you are so inclined. The links to everything are in the description below. As always, I appreciate your support, and thank you for listening.